Damn, look at that cool new YouTube channel that just hopped in here. Higher Strangeness with Punksy and Pink. That is awesome. I love the title. Love that title. What's up, everybody? I love that title. Pam? Oh, you don't have to ask. No. SRB's grandbaby. It's just our podcast show, baby. Our first one. Kid Kitty, Dre. Yes, I should have it narrowed down tomorrow, Dre. I got it narrowed down to a couple. Just trying to make sure that it'll fit my mic. And then we'll be rolling. I won't have a microphone in front of my face no more. Pam, SRB. Look at that, baby bottles and all that stuff. Kid Kitty. I love the name. Look at that icon too. Here, let me pull up your channel link so I can put it in my other creator links here. 1 second. Yeah, I love the name. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna get your link. Subscribe. Right there, just subscribed. And this is what it looks like, everybody. So let me see. Do you have a handle about? Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, let me open up my other links, my other creator links. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I save this. What's up, Ava? Look at this awesome new channel, chilling in chat. Let's see, other creators links. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I get this added here. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Hopefully I spelled Dahlia correctly. All right, Punksy and Pink, let me know. Let me know if this is cool or if you'd like me to change what it says. Yes, so cool. Yes, awesome. Yes. Love it. So cool. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's so cool. So when's your first show? And I'd love to have you guys on anytime. If you'd like, you're more than welcome. Just say, hey, give me that link. And I will say, okay. Speaking of something else, look at this beautiful little baby girl. Liberty Rose. 7 pounds, 1 ounce, 20 inches. So cute. Aw. Got this one. Aw, look at the Pinky. Already ready for the cup of coffee. Aw. So cute. Then there's mom and dad real quick. And then... Oh, yawn. Mama Bear had the closest. Yeah. I have Saturday off, and Sunday I have my sports show from around 11 to 2-ish Central. And then I do my night show on Sunday at 6:30 Central. But I have Saturday off, and then I have that gap in between. I might be up early Sunday morning before the sports show. But definitely hit me up on Discord, Punksy. Definitely hit me up on Discord, and we'll figure it out. That way I can give you a hand on with whatever you want. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the follow over there on Twitch. Appreciate it. You should hop on over to YouTube. If you have YouTube, hop on over. You can actually... nobody will be able to see your chat except for on Twitch, but if you want to hop over to YouTube, go ahead and sub, and you'll be able to interact with the chat. Welcome everybody coming in. Thank you. Yeah. Just hit me up on Discord, and we'll figure it out. And like I said, any tonight, tomorrow night, if you want to hop in, you're more than welcome to hop in and hang out and test things if you'd like. You're more than welcome. Got a bunch of different stuff to talk about tonight. I even have, I don't know, I'm sure you guys have heard about it, but that weather balloon or Chinese spy balloon or whatever. What the hell? Okay. Let me check here. Let me go back to here. Aw. Little sleeping baby. What's up, Max? How you doing? Yep, this is Liberty Rose. Congratulations, SRB. Cassie's hubby. The family, congratulations. So excited. I can't believe it. It's like, man, it really did go by in a snap of a finger. It really did. It really did. It's like, dang, Liberty Rose is born. It's just crazy to even think it. So excited. Hope Mama and Daddy are doing cool. So cool. Thank you so much for sharing that too. I appreciate you sharing that with us. It's so cool. I'm so excited. I was even telling my coworker today. I was like, the baby's coming today. Oh, I'm waiting for baby pictures. And then when I got the baby pictures, I was like, oh my God, baby pictures. I have a question though. Yes, Liberty Rose is a beautiful name. Oh, her middle is after yours and your grandma's. That is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, I have a question for you guys. I was listening to a certain part of the last night's podcast today. And I was told because it was going through my speaker at work. I was re-listening to a certain part of last night's show at work, and specifically the beginning where it had the Dave caller. I wanted to hear that part again. I wanted to hear the whole Dave conversation, again. So I was listening to that part of the show, and my coworker says that I sound like a local weatherman. Does my voice sound like a local weatherman? I laughed my ass off. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know if that's a compliment or what. I just found it out. I was like, I've never been called or been told that I sound like a local weatherman. I don't know. I don't get it. All right. We're going to go into the folder. Let's scroll down here. And geez, have you guys heard about this? Eye drops linked to U.S. drug-resistant bacteria outbreak. It's only a 40-second video. But I was like, what? Weathermen usually have strong voices. I don't know. I was like, a local weatherman? But like, who's it? I don't know. It's just weird. It's just odd. Weathermen usually have strong voices, huh? I'm gonna have to watch up on the
The
local weather.
CDC wants you to stop using EzraCare artificial tears. The agency says at least 55 infections in 12 states have led to permanent vision loss, hospitalization, and 1 death. No cases have been reported in Indiana. The agency says most of the infections reported using artificial tears. EzraCare was the most common brand. The eye drops do not have ingredients to prevent bacterial growth. We have a full list of the states involved right now. You can grab your phone and scan the QR code on your screen to read this story.
So EzraCare brand artificial tears is spreading some kind of infection that is resistant to medication. Very odd. I just thought I'd check that out real quick. I don't use them, but who knows? Somebody might. Maybe somebody you know might. Maybe they already know about it. I don't know. Yeah, this ride share, all these people posting on social media last year about, hey, our flight got canceled, so we grouped up with 6 other people and we got 1 car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all are nuts. Everybody happy, Look at this shit. Drivers in danger in brazen rideshare robberies. Just be careful out there. Alright, I am going to touch on this Chinese spy balloon real quick. What the hell? Let me see. That's 9 minutes ago.
We've got some breaking news to get to, an exclusive out of our Pentagon team, because apparently there is a suspected Chinese spy balloon that's been hovering over the northern U.S., according to 3 officials familiar with this. A spokesperson for the Pentagon calls it a high-altitude surveillance balloon, saying they're monitoring it closely. Courtney Cubie has been on this. And Court, so Montana, parts of Alaska, Canada, and potentially over some U.S. military sites. Do I have that right?
Yeah, so it was last spotted that we know of around Billings, Montana. That's a couple hundred miles from Malmstrom Air Force Base, which critically is where the U.S. keeps some of their ICBMs, their Minuteman III ICBMs. That being said, as far as we know, it was not over that base. U.S. officials were still extremely concerned. So concerned, Hallie, that yesterday, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, while traveling in the Philippines, convened a meeting of his senior leaders in the middle of the night his time, including Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, other
That's funny,
leaders,
Ava.
the head of NORAD, who was
I
here
could
in
see
DC
that
at the
too.
time, convened them to
just
discuss
saw it?
this. They looked at the the track of this balloon, where it had been, where they believed it was going, and
You just saw. Did you see this outside or on the TV, SRB? Holy crap.
then they assessed its ability to
It's
actually
still over
gather
the
any
United
intelligence.
States.
They looked at options, including taking it down out of the sky. Ultimately, they came to the decision, to the agreement that if we're to shoot this thing out of the sky, it would create a debris field that would put people and assets on the ground in Montana potentially at risk. But it got to the point they were so serious about this potential that when there was a window while this balloon was over Montana, they actually scrambled U.S. aircraft fighters, including F-22s, with the potential that they could take this thing out. They presented these options to President Biden. He concurred. Ultimately, they didn't shoot this surveillance balloon down, but they are taking action on the ground. A U.S. senior defense official said that if this balloon continues to fly and it goes near any sensitive places, they keep open the option to shoot it down, and they'll move things around on the ground to make sure that it can't actually gather any important information, Hallie.
This is incredible reporting, Court. And as you say, it is significant for a lot of the reasons that you've laid out. It also feels like now that we know about it, there is a major, not just military component, but like a geopolitical diplomatic component, right? Like you would think that the administration would be wanting to presumably send a warning to China that says, absolutely cut this out.
So all we know about that so far is that the U.S. has communicated with China, both here in D.C. and in Beijing, that they're aware of this balloon and they have sent some sort of a message. But I spoke with a senior defense official who declined to say exactly what that message was or whether the Chinese acknowledged that this was was their balloon. All we know so far is the U.S., the Pentagon, is confident that this does belong to the People's Republic of China.
Thanks for watching the channel. Follow.
And I got a couple more videos on it. Let me see here. It's like, what the hell? And then, I don't know. Is this like a test of something? Are they trying to test to see how we're going to react or what? Whoa, what's going on with my folder? It's doing the same videos over and over again. And then it just put me right in that spot again. China angered by U.S. Manila deal on military bases? What?
The U.S. and the Philippines on Thursday announced American forces will gain access to 4 new military bases in the Pacific Island nation, expanding a staging ground as Washington seeks to counter China in the region. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Manila met his Philippine counterpart, hailed the agreement as a significant security measure.
We discussed concrete actions to address destabilizing activities in the waters surrounding the Philippines, including the West Philippine Sea. And we remain committed to strengthening our mutual capacities to resist armed attack.
It comes amid mounting concern over China's increasing assertiveness in the disputed South China Sea and tensions over self-ruled Taiwan. A spokesperson for China's foreign ministry on Thursday countered that America was to blame for rising tensions in the region and said American access to Philippine bases, quote, hurts regional peace and stability. America has been flexing its Pacific military might. Last month, American F-18 Hornets roared off the deck of the USS Nimitz as the aircraft carrier navigated through the South China Seas. Austin's visit to the Philippines follows a trip to key ally South Korea. This week, American and South Korean forces staged joint military drills featuring heavy bombers and stealth fighters. Those drills provoked a furious condemnation from Pyongyang. North Korea on Thursday said American drills in the region reached a, quote, extreme red line, threatened to turn the peninsula into a, quote, huge war arsenal and a more critical war zone. Last year, North Korea conducted a record number of ballistic missile tests, which are banned by UN Security Council resolutions. It was also observed reopening its shuttered nuclear weapons test site, raising expectations of a nuclear test for the first time since 2017.
Holy crap.
Asked about the North Korean warnings, Austin said the U.S. would stand by its ally, Seoul.
We remain.
Holy crap. There's all sorts of crap going on. I wonder if this was a test then. This whole balloon thing. Okay, let me see here. Former principal was not aware. We heard everybody was. First, I do want to get to a link from Pam. Pam sent me yesterday. And this is that Courtney Clenny. That she brought up yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to this real quick. Thank you, Pam.
So before the video,
Oh,
please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday.
sorry, it's 40 minutes. Let me see what I can find on them real quick. See if I can find something local. Let me... Thank you for that link, though. Let me see. I'm going to go into this rideshare thing. Whoa, News Nation, what we know and don't know. So this is everywhere it was spotted? Kel, where's Kel?
On the size, you said, we don't know the exact size of the balloon, but it is large enough that if falling debris came to the ground, it would have caused enough damage if it was shot down over Montana. That's what the Pentagon's saying. Montana, home to one of the nation's 3 nuclear missile silo fields. But there's a lot why they decided to tell us now. We got an alert from the Pentagon that they were holding a background briefing, and they shared this news. I've been texting with top Pentagon officials for more information. They won't go beyond that background briefing. And we also don't know what this means for our relationship with China. The Secretary of State traveling to China this weekend, expected to meet with the Chinese president, and the Defense Secretary in the Philippines today, securing a deal to add 4 military bases there, key real estate to monitor Chinese in the South China Sea and around Taiwan. Leland?
Yeah, you make a great point that you can't look at this and think that the timing is coincidental. Kelly, keep working your sources at the Pentagon. We'll get back to you when you get anything. Thank you. Blake Berman now at the White House. We have any idea, Blake, as to the why tell everyone now about this?
This was coordinated across government, Leland, as sort of Kelly mentioned. This was dropped by the administration and the Pentagon today. We don't exactly know why the timing. Maybe this was just going to come out. They wanted to brief everyone, or if there was some other motive behind it. When you talk about the timing of this, here's what I can tell you exactly, or at least from the White House's perspective, what happened over here involving the commander-in-chief. Kelly just sort of laid out everything that happened. So clearly the decision was made that this information needed to be brought to President Biden.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of.
Jeez. Let me see here. This is crazy. Thought they said length of and there was a tracker on the path. Yeah. This, I don't know. Who knows anymore, you know? I don't get it. All right. Let's go to this rideshare thing, and then we're going to go into some of that Courtney Clenny thing here. I got a couple of videos we can watch.
What was once an easy side hustle is getting more dangerous by the mile. Rideshare robberies, a growing violent trend around our country. Criminals ordering a Lyft or Uber, then robbing, beating, sometimes killing the driver. And law enforcement says the brazen crimes have accelerated in some cases because of social media. News Nation's Marky Martin is live. And Marky, the FBI is now involved.
Yeah, Nicole, we've all heard the stories of passengers falling victim to assault, but now it's big cities like Baltimore, even college towns in Illinois. It's the Uber drivers, it's the Lyft drivers that are now getting attacked and sometimes even murdered. And tonight in a News Nation exclusive, the FBI telling us that there are multiple factors fueling this. And just a content warning for viewers, some of this video is graphic.
911, where's your emergency?
I drive for Uber. A young man tried to rob me at gunpoint. Okay.
We're heading downtown. We're going to man.
The beatings.
Excuse me, man. If you're going to be disrespectful, I'll just pull over right
now. Strangling. Even bitings.
Oh my God!
Being captured at an alarming rate. This rideshare driver in Houston not wanting to give up. A frightening struggle. And the 40-year-old driver accelerates.
It's never happened to me like in 5 years.
News Nation tracked down that driver. He says while he's currently a specialist in the U.S. Army Reserves, it was pure instinct, not weapon training, on display that afternoon inside his Camry.
I just kept driving. Then, lucky for me, he just decided to get out from the car. He just jumped out from a moving car.
This driver, he put me in the weapon here.
One male.
After a carjacking in Florida, rideshare criminals quickly turn on responding deputies.
Here!
A Volusia County K-9 shot in the face.
That's a good buddy. That's all right.
A second K-9 shot too, before the passenger turned suspect is taken down.
Not a dog. We'll give you guys an update. Not a good boy, buddy. I'm right here.
I wanted them to know that he was a humanitarian. He wanted to help.
Liz Hilton of Missouri knows all too well the danger drivers face. She convinced Elijah Newman, her friend of 20 years, to move his Lyft gig to her hometown of St. Louis. In just 3 weeks, he was dead.
It's like I put him on a death sentence. I mean, there's really no other way around it. I wish I could have told him more.
Newman, a father of 5 from Ghana, was killed on the same road an Uber driver's carjacking went unsolved just weeks before.
It's steadily escalating.
The FBI's Umba Ngoma is just one of the special agents nationwide working on these violent robberies. But stealing a vehicle, he says, isn't the only motive at work here.
A lot of it is also getting fueled through social media. Some people are creating challenges.
A News Nation investigation discovering the suspects in these cases young, the majority in their teens, like the 16 and 17-year-olds charged with murdering a Lyft driver saving for veterinary school in Urbana, Illinois.
I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life.
A juvenile among those under arrest in the driver in January in Charlotte.
Yelling over me while I'm talking to dispatch. No, nothing's wrong with him. He just got grazed. You don't have to send anybody.
And the teenager charged with taking Liz Hilton's friend.
They left him for dead.
The FBI putting out a warning to drivers, alerting that criminals are using fake profiles and drivers should verify and screen riders.
It's a great idea. Not enough time. You go from ride to ride to ride to ride.
Driver safety on the radar at Uber and Lyft for years. Just this fall, Uber testing a feature in 3 U.S. cities that'll record video and audio on every trip. For privacy, it's only viewable if the driver uploads it to Uber. Lyft telling us this: we are continuously investing in new features and policies to help protect drivers and are committed to working with law enforcement to prevent these incidents from happening and supporting drivers when they do. For many, like reservist who's seen a teenager
otherwise they wouldn't have a business no more.
In his case, the inherently dangerous job will continue.
This is crazy.
After like a few days, I started driving again.
He'll do so with this urgent warning. While the vehicle is the livelihood, the life of the driver is paramount.
A ride is never worth your life.
And Nicole, just some safety advice for drivers. The FBI is suggesting pull up a block short, make those passengers come out and see if that pickup still seems like a good idea to you. Also a warning, a lot of these criminals making the drivers wait kind of an awkward amount of time. And usually they're using that time window to see if that driver is a good target, a vulnerable target. And then lastly, of course, if anything seems off, easy, just cancel the ride and keep it moving. Nicole.
Absolutely. Yeah, that video was terrible.
Yeah, and then you probably get like a negative rating for canceling at the last minute, which affects your status. I don't know. They need to figure that out, though. Holy crap. I thought about doing some stuff in the past, but it was nothing like that. Because there's no way in hell I'd be doing that shit. Strangers in my damn car sitting behind me. You're out of your fucking mind. But I thought about doing that DoorDash stuff. But then I'm like, nah. Maybe if I'm like on vacation or something and I just do it for a day just to kind of explore and have fun. Why not? But I don't know. There's no way in hell. No way in hell I'd be doing Lyft or Uber or anything like that. Forget that. I wouldn't even. I'll just keep my opinion to myself about that. Never mind. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. Just, man. And yeah, you're right, Ava. It is right next to one of the 3. You are very correct in that. Let me see here. Let me scroll up a little bit. Another News Nation. This is it. We'll watch this. Let me see here. 2 hours ago. We'll watch one more and then we'll be done. with the spy balloon. It is very crazy, though. Then we'll get into the other stuff. I couldn't do none of it. Maybe DoorDash a little bit,
US
just for fun.
Monitoring right now a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon hovering over the northern continental U.S. On Balance host Leland Vitter joins me now with more on this breaking news. Leland, we were just saying this is not what we expected.
Not on anybody's February bingo card was a Chinese spy balloon. Fascinating where this is, right? Which is over Montana right now. Everyone says, why Montana? Well, Wyoming next door, and then also next door in North Dakota, key U.S. strategic bases for the Air Force, both in terms of bombers and key U.S. bases for missiles, for ICBMs. The timing is not a coincidence here. Secretary Blinken is supposed to go over to China to attempt to kind of have some type of reset with Xi Jinping and with Chinese leadership. At the same time, you have U.S. military bases going up in the Philippines. That was just announced today. So the Chinese are answering. Fascinating also that we're allowing this to continue to fly and haven't shot it down yet.
Well, exactly.
That's what I thought.
Reading about this.
That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, why are we letting
it?
It's been
here for the past few days. This didn't just appear today.
No, and they likely been tracking this since it came over the Aleutian Islands, right?
For a few days.
We also don't know, and they haven't said whether this is the first time this has ever happened before.
And they didn't shoot it down
There's a
before?
lot of questions. There's also a lot of questions about what they're not saying and not offering. They said they've taken measures to make sure that no intel is compromised. How do you do that if you don't know what the capabilities of these balloons already are?
Right.
Are we doing the same thing to the Chinese? The question.
Yeah, you also wonder that too. Have we been doing it? And this is another thing that it makes me wonder, and I'm gonna fuck it up because I don't know the exact term of what it is, but I think it's the EMP, the electromagnetic pulse thing that can shut down fucking electrical grids and shit in a snap of a finger. Because I know I could have swore I heard something said about they have the technology for those things, and it makes me wonder, could one of them things be floating on a balloon and they're just, maybe it's not on this one, it's just a regular balloon and they're just seeing how we would react, so then when they send one with the fucking shit on it, they already know how we're gonna react. I don't know, it's fucking weird.
Questions continue. I think what's
Scary.
fascinating is that we've been doing a lot of stories on this. I know you've been covering in North Dakota. The Chinese tried to put up that huge grain elevator right next to the air base. I believe it was in Grand Forks, North Dakota. That's one of the bases that would be in the flight line of this balloon that the Chinese are sending.
Well, one thing that really
see, they have purchased a lot of land here, a lot of farmland. It was part of when we went to a recession, they came through and purchased a bunch of farmland in the United States. And what he's saying is they were building a grain elevator. Basically, you could peep.
Base, I believe it was in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I know you've been covering North Dakota. The Chinese tried to put up that huge grain elevator right next to the air base. I believe it was in Grand Forks, North Dakota. That's one of the bases that would be in the flight line of this balloon that the Chinese have sent over.
Well, one thing that really, I guess, perplexes me, Leland, if we've known about this, if we may have known that the Chinese have tried to do this before, why are they now telling us? Why are they telling the American public that this is happening?
Great question. Maybe it's not to tell the American public. Maybe it's to tell the Chinese. We know, you now know that we know that you know. And look, Secretary Blinken's headed over. You had the Secretary of Defense down in the Philippines getting new.
Well, it's got to have helium. I was going to say why couldn't we shoot a laser at it so it could poke a hole in it and it would slowly drop down, at a slow pace. If you're worried about it, casualties and such, if you shoot it down, well then just deflate it a little bit. and let it just kind of float down. So I don't know, SRB. You would think we have something. Well, I did see something come across something last night on, I don't know what I subbed to that had this pop up, but it said, I think it was the infographics channel. I might have to look it up, but it said something about a potential China-US 2025.
Pieces for US
Willow.
bases to encircle
Yeah,
Laser
let's talk
gun.
about that. The timing of all.
Right. So the timing is
That's so
significant.
cool.
And look, if you're the Chinese and you think you're getting all of this great intel, and all of a sudden the United States comes out and says, "Oh no, we've known about this for a few days,"
Right.
It's a little bit of a thumb in
weird.
the eye, right?
It's weird.
And by the way, we're so confident and we care so little about your spy balloon. We're just going to let it fly over because we don't want it to bother. So there's a
Exactly.
lot of messages being sent here.
And how do you protect
Yay.
against sensitive information being detected? As you said, I mean, how can
Well,
you?
and you don't know what the capabilities of this balloon are, at least we assume they don't know.
Right.
You move planes, you put planes into hangars, you all of a sudden change your radio protocols, whatever it is that they think. And look, there's also ways you can blind these things. You can blind them with lasers. And it's important to note, there's treaties covering space, right? When satellites fly over the United States from Russia or China, the treaties say you can't touch those. You can't use offensive lasers. That's an act of war to take something out of space. But if a foreign military has flown an object over your airspace, not in space, 90,000 feet,
Right.
is higher than commercial airliners, 3 times as high as commercial airliners, but it is not in space, the U.S. has every right to blow that out of the sky.
Well, that was my next question. I mean, how likely do you think that is to happen?
Well, so far they've said they haven't taken it down.
Right.
Now, why tell the Chinese that we know that it's there and not take it out of the sky? We've gone through those iterations. I think what's most interesting about it, we have where Billings is, Billings, Montana. We don't know where in Montana
Right.
exactly this balloon is or how also it's being propelled. Or if it has its own propulsion system, it's kind of like a blimp. But I think what's interesting about this is the timing and how the U.S. seems so laissez-faire about it and what message is trying to be sent to the Chinese about that. And then what this means for U.S. spying on China.
Right.
We know that there's been a number of altercations in the South China Sea between U.S. aircraft and Chinese aircraft. Whether the U.S. is trying to just sort of go like this to Xi Jinping and embarrass the Chinese a little bit may have something to do with what we're seeing.
Well, it's one of those things too, where I think, as just regular Americans hear this and it is concerning. It certainly doesn't seem like it's something normal when this is something between governments, but here, it's just the average Americans that could potentially be impacted by this.
They said it's, oh my gosh, YouTube.
U.S. government.
They said it was like it's way above any commercial aircraft or any kind of, gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think they said 12,000. No, 4 to 12 miles above the surface. I can't remember. It's something like that. It's just crazy. It's like a game of chess.
There's that. What planet is that?
What planet is that, she said?
There's the moon. Right. And then
And that's the picture of
that.
what is that hanging down from it?
What planet is that?
Oh my gosh, that's like solar panels. What the fuck?
Moon.
40,000 feet. It's got fucking solar panels on it. Like the International Space Station, you know, the fucking... What? What is this? Upward News. Well, let's... Oh, I'm following them. 3 U.S. Air Force planes circling over northern Montana where the Pentagon has found a massive Chinese spy balloon. What the fuck? Those are tankers. They're all the same tanker. 19,000 feet, 21,000 feet. So these guys are refueling. Yeah, look, they got the little fucking... The little thing at the tip of the back. So these guys are circling around, refueling whatever the fuck. What else did they send? Because I don't think we have any aircraft that... And look, it's not on flight radar. If these are on flight radar, what the hell are these refueling? Because I didn't think we had any kind of aircraft that could get that high, right? Nobody does, right? U.S. military decided against shooting the balloon down 2 hours ago. And they knew about it a few days ago. Remember that map where it showed how it went up to like some kind of island or something and then came down? Oh, wait a minute. It was over water in Canadian airspace. So they probably knew that they weren't gonna do nothing, and then it entered from Canada into the United States over Montana. Huh. Well, that was pretty strategic, because I'm sitting here going, why didn't they hit it when it was over the water before it came in here? Because that's still our water. But they didn't come that way. They came... Ooh, that was sneaky. Okay, that's the same... Is that the same video that we watched? Yeah, it's the same video. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to the folder. It put me at the top again. And then we'll get into some of these cases here. Man, yeah, I thought that's pretty high. Shoot, 12,000 or 1921. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, so this is Law and Crime Network. And let's see if they discuss a little bit about it. Man. So how was the trial today? If anybody watched it. We'll get into him in a little bit. So this is that Courtney Clenny that was being brought up last night.
Yes, Your Honor. Kathleen Hone on behalf of the state of
This is a month ago.
Mr. Sean Abelhoff had to be in another courtroom on a different sentencing matter.
I'll have to do some more digging on some background videos and stuff like that.
Yes, good morning, Judge. Frank Rick on behalf of Courtney Plenty, F22-14137.
Judge Larry Hanford on behalf of the Sutton family was present before the court.
I can't hear what they're saying.
Judge, Your Honor, said order the state's motion for pretrial release, pretrial detention. Thank you.
Judge, I apologize for running late this morning. I was before the court. I was stuck in federal court. I did have a brief moment to review Your Honor's order. I just wanted to point out, I think on page 4 of Your Honor's ruling, you indicated that the defendant had ample means to leave the jurisdiction. However, I think that was negated by the bank records and testimony of Mr. Clenny. The court
Oh, this is just, I thought it was them talking about it. Let me see
The
here.
testimony was that her contract had been canceled. She's not working, and all those monies were used for attorney's fees, the home purchase, and she basically is bereft of any kind of funds that would allow her to survive outside of the jurisdiction. The issue.
I'll have to do a little more digging.
That you not comport with orders of release for the Las Vegas.
Cause I'd like, I'm sure, I'm gonna look to see if I can find a video that has like 15-minute, 20-minute, what the case is about, timelines, you know.
So, we're just
because I'm not familiar with it.
Some of the issues that we're having, we'll consult together as co-counsel and decide where we go from here. But obviously, we for the record, will object to Your Honor's ruling. And
He's.
The only thing I also wanted to point out was Your Honor stated that you didn't feel comfortable having her released on house arrest to her parents in Texas. There is a potential alternative that you did look into. There is an inpatient treatment program in Boca. It's called Karen Mental Health. We've spoken with the administrator there. It is a 10-bed, 60-day inpatient program. They often work with courts on release conditions.
Oh, I do have a video about that.
Confinement there with electronic monitoring, ensuring that she stays in this jurisdiction nearby.
Whoa.
She's monitored by the
Dang.
Community Corrections Department on home confinement and would, I think, hopefully alleviate some of the court's concerns. So I don't have the program here today to be able to speak to you,
Wow.
but I could arrange another date.
He was late, and she doesn't have what she needs ready to present to the judge.
But
That's
like I
crazy.
said, we did speak to them, and they did say they were willing to accept her into the program.
Judge, I don't believe it requires response. There are no conditions that will ensure her presence and the safety of the community. We disagree with any release to any inpatient treatment.
I don't think that
I can't hear what the judge is saying. After lunch break, Buster wasn't there rest of day.
I believe we have sounding today.
I think that would be best, Your Honor, at least to give us a starting point.
The state is not ready, Judge.
I can't hear him.
Judge, we're not.
date in February that you already have one, so it was F-17 or all F-17, you're 5 years old.
Yeah, there's been a plea offer on the table, but it's been, there's been some outside, things going on with the cases, but, if we have a resolution, I'll put it on with that.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with that. I'll get some videos. Maybe we can get into it tomorrow night. I can maybe find like a 15-20 minute video of like a whole rundown of it, just to kind of pack it in, because I really don't know anything about that case. But everybody in chat was saying it was crazy, so I definitely want to check it out. I'm just going through the breaking stuff real quick. And I do have something about the Murdaugh. Let me know when you see it if this is what you guys were talking about. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay. Oh, it's freezing. Courtney Clanny. Okay, let me see here. Where is that video? Huge mistake by the defense. Oh, so Scott Reich is going to talk about it. It's got 3 people up there. I always enjoy crime talk. Huge mistake by the defense.
There was a hearing in the Lori Vallow Chad Daybell matters. I wonder what happened. Alec Murdaugh's worst nightmare? Opening the door to something that... All right, next on the docket. You know who's not having a good day? And what is a defense attorney's worst fear?
Uh-oh.
Opening the door to something that isn't coming in. Now, let's face it. As a defense attorney, we've all done it. You've been in the moment and you ask a question and maybe it wasn't the best articulated question. And next thing you know, you get an answer that wasn't really asked of because it was a poorly drafted question. And then guess what? You've opened the door to stuff that's not coming in. Well, that's what has happened to Alec Murdaugh's counsel. So the whole use of Alec Murdaugh's financial trouble as a motive for the deaths of Paul and Maggie, specifically the murders, can be permitted per Judge Newman. The court will rule on the admissibility of specific evidence pointing to Alec Murdaugh's financial crimes as the trial progresses, the judge said. He shared that in the court's view, based upon legal precedent, the evidence is valid as a broader context to the circumstances of the murders. He said the defense opened the door by asking witnesses about their knowledge of Paul Murdaugh's 2019 boating accident and if they could think of any reason why Alex Murdaugh would kill his wife and son.
What?
That's right. So, as we stated, the defense objected to the prosecutors going into the questions of the witness of Will Loving, a childhood friend of Paul Murdaugh's, about his knowledge of Alex Murdaugh's significant money issues at the time, specifically the $792,000 in missing fees owed to the former law firm. The witness was asked by the defense whether he could think of any reason why Mr. Murdaugh would commit the crimes that he was committing. Newman said that, in effect, turned the cross-examination of the witness from dealing with specific issues of the case to having that witness testify as a character witness. The judge said that opened the door for the prosecution to question the witnesses about the knowledge of Murdaugh's alleged financial crimes as a motive, which is what the prosecution's been saying all along. But you notice they didn't bring that up in their opening statement because the judge hadn't ruled on it as of that point. In addition to all that, the objection was totally inappropriate, the court said, because the defense attorney jumped up, made the objection, As the court noted, you should basically say objection, relevance, prejudicial. You don't get to do a speaking objection in front of the jury. Completely inappropriate. So, as the day progressed today, what did we get? Well, we didn't get any evidence for the jury to see because they were calling all the witnesses as it related to the financial crimes. And yes, the evidence is overwhelming, particularly from the bookkeeper, the accountant that worked at Alec Murdaugh's law firm, that went in and explained how she has known him since high school and has worked for his law firm for 20 years. And when his family was murdered, they put all those financial issues aside, but then they started looking into it again. And then they kept finding more and more and more inappropriateness, where she stated several times he stole the firm's money.
Wow.
Yes, that's right. The witness, Jeannie Seckinger, their law office manager, does not like Alec Murdaugh. And the funny thing is, her husband's sister is married to the banker, Mr. Lafitte, who was convicted in Charleston for all the federal banking fraud that went on. The prosecution called Mr. Gunn to see if Forge had any files for a list of names that were provided in confidence. And the bottom line is that he had nothing. The other attorney that was called was the attorney that was doing a case, and it was the whole firm share splitting fees. And Mr. Wilson testified that, hey, Alec Murdaugh was my good friend. We went to law school together. We grew up, weren't close in high school, but we went to law school together, became good friends. And when asked, how you feeling about this? And he said, I don't really know how I feel about it. Now, some of the evidence that did come in briefly the other day was no blood tissue was found at the Mosul drains after the murder. Katie McAllister was a SLED agent, and she searched the bathrooms at Alex Murdaugh's home on June 8th regarding the presence of blood in the bathtub and sink drains. And when asked, when you look at the drain in the shower, if somebody's recently showered off blood, you would expect to see some trace evidence, would you not? Ms. McAllister responded that she was unsure. She was qualified to answer that question. She did confirm that SLED has teams that could swab drains to search for trace or blood or tissue evidence, but said that those specialists were never called to the Mosul residence to her knowledge. But she was the only one that checked for those drains. And he, when asked, you're telling the jury you saw no evidence of blood tissue or anything that would indicate that somebody had showered or washed off or bathed to remove evidence of a crime? Is that what you're telling us? Ms. McAllister said, yes, sir. There was nothing visible to me. So the Murdaugh trial should be back to evidence before the jury tomorrow. The court's going to rule on what specifically can come in, but this is a huge mistake that the defense made. And I mean huge.
Wow.
I'm not going to beat them up. We've all been there in the heat of the moment. He thought he was doing great. I'm sure the defense attorney didn't think that he was opening the door. But when you ask, is there any reason, basically say, he's such a good guy. He's such a great guy. There's nothing that could possibly have any reason why to kill anybody. Guess what? That then turns from, did the defendant do it, to basically you're asking for evidence of character to come in. He's such a good guy. He wouldn't do anything. And so when they get to the defense, ask that witness for basically their lay opinion that he's a great guy, has no reason. Then you get to test the basis of that opinion. Say, oh, really? Are you aware that he stole $792,000? Are you aware that he had all these financial issues going on? And the witness is like, nope, had no idea. Nope. The defense opened the door. And it was a little painful watching them struggle on cross-examination, specifically as it related to the office manager for Mr. Murdaugh's former firm, because he had no really good explanation for it other than, well, we were just deferring payment to avoid taxes. And the firm was very adamant that they weren't going to do anything to assist in hiding money as it related to discovery issues related to the civil case as it relates to the death of Mallory Beach. So they have taken a turn. All right. And next on the docket, our dumb criminal of the day.
Wow. That is freaking crazy. I bet it was an interesting watch on TV for those who watched it all. Wow. Wow. All right, let me go to today. Where's the top? Okay. What is this? Maggie Murdaugh's phone moved 59 steps after she died?
And that's because Jay Green is a digital forensics expert, technical lead for digital forensics at Invista Forensics. Also worked with Britt Dove, as I have come to find, the expert who testified during the Murdaugh trial today. Okay, Jake, so I want to think of all the different reasons that could be innocuous and innocent as to why Maggie is likely dead and her phone has a life of its own. Tell me.
There's not really any. That phone is moving because somebody is physically moving it around. All the gyroscopes and pieces within this device that record it, those are moving because someone's actually holding that phone and moving around with it. So there's not really anything innocuous that we could say, oh, well, it might have just mistakenly recorded it. No, this is something that was actually recording at the time somebody was moving.
So the one thing, I mean, everybody wants to say, aha, this is a Perry Mason moment. It's impossible to tell whose hand it is in. It's impossible to tell who's flipping it around, wondering whether, it'll show something in portrait or in landscape. What's the next best thing to try to figure that out?
Really the activity in and around. So looking at the databases, and I saw a copy of a report that you guys used as an infographic. They used a piece of software that automates the review of the database that all this is coming from. That piece of software does an excellent job, but at the same time, a manual review of the actual data itself of that database is going to give us much more than what that piece of software can give us. So there can be other things that can show us not only was the phone in portrait versus landscape. You showed off your kids, I'll show off my awesome wife. It'll show us when was the last time this phone was unlocked. Was it unlocked with a pin? Did somebody unlock it with their face? What was the brightness? What was the backlight? So so my phone right now is off and it's on a black screen. If I pick it up and it's called raise to awake. So if you black screen, raise it, your screen comes back on. That setting is going to be within that database as well. So it may not be something that was pulled out by the automated software, but that database can definitely hold that piece of evidence. So in and around and what happened and estimating steps. Could this person have taken that same number of steps to make it back to the house? That movement had to have occurred somewhere. So trying to place other pieces of evidence as well as the physical evidence of DNA and fingerprints on the device as well. And that's how you would put that phone in somebody's hand.
So the 59 steps, like Maggie's phone walked 59 steps after she's dead at 8:53, just minutes after she's dead. And I decided, okay, was 59 steps back to the house or, it's not. The kennel is a long way away from the house. And I did 59 steps today just to see, how far I get. I got around my house once. It's not very far. Is there anything that could be wrong? I always wonder if my step count is right. Is the iPhone really picking up every step, or could it be in a truck? Or could there be errors? How accurate is this? I'm trying to think of what would someone be doing around a dead body for 59 steps.
Right.
It's not very far.
Yeah. So the things that we've seen in testing and research that other folks have done is there can absolutely be flaws. There's no known accuracy for are those steps accurate within 5-10 steps. I would be more concerned with the estimated distance, as that is something that is measured within the location data within that device. So I would trust the distance more than I would trust the actual the step counts.
Okay, well, that's interesting, but I do have this list I want to show you. I thought this was pretty damning, actually. It's Alex Murdaugh's steps, and there are so many of them, and it seems really frantic. It starts at 6:42. And it goes right through almost every 10 minutes or so. 6:42,
Whoa.
6:52, 7:03, 7:15, 7:28,
Holy
7:55, 8:05, 9:02. And they're like giant steps at times, like 283 steps, 270 steps, again 283 steps, 167 steps. They're all over the map from 6:42 to 8:05. But he also says
Whoa.
he took a nap. And I don't know, that's kind of impossible, isn't it? I mean, that's not the kind of mistake where you could say, well, the iPhone's not always accurate. That doesn't show that he's napping.
Right. So keep in mind that the windows that we see within movements, those are typically the first indication of movement and the last indication of movement. So it's not saying that you took 183 steps within that 10 minutes. It's just that within that 10 minutes, it detected movement and it estimates it. So you could have taken those steps in the first 5 minutes, the first 4 minutes. You could have run for the first minute. So that's just the way the phone records these items. So I think the other important thing to keep in mind is that investigators properly preserve this phone and were able to pull out these databases because they were able to get them within 30 days. So this database rolls over, it's constantly. So the reason we ask about, well, what about Mr. Murdaugh's phone? What was his screen doing at the time? They may not have for 30 days or may not have seized his phone within 30 days. So that's why his data is different from what's been on the wife's phone.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red.
Man, I bet this case, watching it live, I bet it is so interesting being able to watch it live. Deadly. Yeah, I wanted to hear this. Hid under floorboards. I was like, what? Did they crawl under there?
So fast and trying to process it all now. It's still quite confusing. Do you know how he's being connected now to this double murder?
Like, did he crawl under the house?
You know, it's tough to say. Police did tell us and they said in the press conference that it appears that the injuries suffered by the two victims are consistent with the injuries that Benjamin Foster has inflicted on his previous victims. So in that sense, they were able to connect the two.
And Catherine, I know that they said blunt force trauma. They didn't go into a whole lot more detail other than blunt force trauma, but we know that Justine Simmons was beaten literally within an inch of her life. And they said it was torture, that she was tortured and beaten and bound and left for dead. Do we have any idea of her condition? I mean, last night we said it was life support. Any more sort of progress?
I did reach out to Grants Pass Police on that. They have indicated at last check she has not yet regained consciousness. They would not provide details on the extent of her injuries, only to say that she was near death, beaten on every inch of her body, and had not yet regained consciousness. But as far as the torture goes, they were unwilling to disclose those details.
So the other aspect to this case was that they believe that Benjamin Foster was out on dating apps and maybe looking for places to shelter and to get help in sheltering, or maybe looking for more victims. And there was an arrest. I mean, they made an arrest, I think, of a 67-year-old woman. I'm just so curious, did he find her through a dating app? Was she helping him to secrete away from the police? Is she now facing additional charges because Justine is in terrible condition and those other two men are dead?
You know, and that's a great question, because there's a lot of things we still don't know about this timeline and kind of where Foster was when. We know that he was spotted yesterday morning in the same area that 68-year-old Tina Jones lives. That's the woman who helped him evade authorities. They actually had a home surrounded last Thursday, and they were trying to get to him then in a raid. And they haven't said exactly how Jones is connected to helping him evade authorities last week, but she has been arrested for hindering prosecution. And she could potentially be facing more charges if it is found that she's been connected to these murders. But since the murders happened after she was arrested for hindering prosecution, it's very unclear if she's involved in any of the events that happened after that.
it's sort of mind-numbing, just the sequence of details in this story. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe.
So this is where they were found and where the evidence was found. Wow. Oh my gosh. What I didn't understand is when he said he walked up to his son, he turned him over and then saw what happened, and I'm like, how could you not already? I don't know. It's just something's weird about it. I guess. That's crazy in itself right there. True Crime Time. Brian Koberger's Escape Plan. I don't know if we've watched. I think we have once or twice. Check this out real quick. There is a truth and transparency video right above that too.
Okay, the car's packed. Dad's ready to go. It is time to go. We have to be careful though. Everybody knows the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. That's basic geometry. That's where they'll be looking. Only you're smarter. It's easy, after all. You know how the investigators work. You're the criminology major. You've studied more than these small town cops. You are the one who teaches. The lessons. So, as always, you are one step ahead of them. No straight lines, just like the last time. You'll program a route into your phone that no one will expect. Sure, it'll take a bit longer, but they won't expect you here. You just need to get where you want to go. And of course it worked. We haven't seen a cop for 14 hours. Sure, it shook you up a week ago when the authorities announced they were looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. You'd been sloppy, after all. You weren't expecting things to get so loud, so messy, so out of control. You weren't expecting her to be there, but it's okay. You got out, and it's all gone. The knife, the clothes, the shoes. It never happened. Nobody's going to suspect you. You are one of them. All you need to do now is take care of one last detail. So what if they have the car on camera with a single Pennsylvania license plate? That's not you anymore. You were one step ahead of them and quickly registered the car in Washington and attached a new set of plates. It was perfect. It's been 6 weeks and you've gotten away with it. And you're going to keep getting away with it because you're smarter than they are. Not only that, you're lucky. You have the perfect cover now that Dad is along for the trip, riding shotgun. What could be more innocent? All you have to do is keep driving. You'll be home for the holidays, 2,500 miles away, an entire country between you and those Keystone cops. Then you'll sell the car while back east, and they'll never know. You'll have the last laugh again. Killing is easy, and so is getting away with it. Just keep acting normal. Blend in. Don't panic. It's only a matter of time before it will quiet down. And soon, nothing will be left to connect you to what you did, except for the memories. Those you will keep forever. Driving through the Rockies was brilliant. And now, you're just hours away from home. Just you and Dad, a nice, normal family. And to boot, the authorities are focused on a crisis, which will only help distract them from you even more. I think it's time to grab some lunch. I think I might remember a Thai place just up the way. We'll grab a bite to eat, take a quick break, and then we'll push through to get home. Wait, who's this behind me? It's okay, stay calm. That's why you wanted Dad to ride with you. They won't be looking for that. Just make sure Dad doesn't tell them where you're going. You only need one more day. One more day and you're home safe, and it will be all over. After all, you're smarter than they are. They should have hired you. They should admire how smart you are. They should respect you. It's only a matter of time, and they will. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that story told from the perspective of Brian.
Whoa, that was pretty
Really
crazy.
appreciate you watching. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.
Wow, that was pretty cool. Am I subscribed? Yeah, I'm subscribed. That was pretty neat. I put the link to the video in chat. That was pretty interesting. And it's all the stuff that we've said, you know? It's like, hey, but this, but that, but this, but that. Let me see here. Jury. All right. Now suspected of double homicide. What? Whoa. They think he did. I mean, we figured he did,
Foster,
but
the suspect in a violent Oregon kidnapping, is now linked to the deaths of 2 people, according to police.
At this point, we do believe Benjamin Foster is the suspect of that double homicide.
whoa.
As the MO or modus operandi is very similar.
Benjamin Obadiah Foster was wanted for attempted murder, kidnapping, and assault. Grants Pass police say he was the suspect who left a woman bound and beaten until she was unconscious. The search for Foster led to an hours-long standoff at the house where this alleged crime took place. Authorities say the suspect shot himself and later died at the hospital. While searching for the suspect, law enforcement has detailed another crime they believe was perpetrated by Benjamin Foster, the double homicide of 2 men.
We believe that those are related to Benjamin Foster. And at this time, we're confirming our suspicions as the investigation goes on.
Authorities say there are currently no other suspects in the deaths of these 2 men.
My understanding is that we believe blunt force trauma was the means used in this, and it's a brutal scene, unfortunately, that we're processing.
Whoa.
The victim in the kidnapping and torture is in the hospital, reportedly on life support. This investigation is ongoing. This is Inside Edition Digital.
Yeah, I think so, Cherry. I think it's like held captive or whatever. It's got to be some kind of kidnapping, hostage type thing. Man. Court TV visits scene of Alec Murdaugh roadside shooting. Let me see. Law and Crime Networks. I couldn't find what you were looking for. SRB. If you can send me a link to it, that bed crime stories. Let me see what this Law and Crime Network has here. Yeah, it's some kind of It has to be it has to be related somehow. I'm sure it's worded a certain way or something, you know.
The video you just watched was sent on Snapchat by Alec Murdaugh's son on the day he was murdered. Prosecutors allege this video proves that the disgraced lawyer was with his son Paul at their South Carolina home before he was killed. According to a Snapchat representative, that video was uploaded to Paul Murdaugh's memories at 7:39 p.m. and later sent to friends at 7:56 p.m. on June 7th, 2021.
The video we just discussed that was
Wow.
Snapchat search warrant return.
How
Yes.
freaking
That
creepy.
you just testified was uploaded at 7:39 p.m. and sent at 7:56 p.m.
Yes. Later that night, Paul Murdaugh
No, that's
took
what they
another
said.
video on his phone, this time in their dog kennel.
That's what they said, that they believe that he's involved in those two. Crazy.
Listen to how many voices you hear.
Get back. Get back. Quit, Cash. Come. Quit. It's okay. Come here. Come on, back. Come here, Cash. Shit. Come here. Post it. Cash.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
Close friends of the Murdaugh family testified that they 100% believe Alec Murdaugh's voice is heard alongside his son Paul's and wife Maggie's in the video.
Recognize the voices on there? I did. Did you recognize the voices of your second family? I did. And what voices did you hear?
Paul's, Miss Maggie, and Miss Alec.
And how sure are you now?
Positive.
100%?
That's correct.
Expert witnesses said the video was taken at approximately 8:44 p.m., which is minutes before investigators believe Paul and Maggie were shot. Later, Alec would call 911 at approximately 10:06 p.m. to report the discovery of the bodies of his wife and son.
This is Alec Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child just got badly.
Family friends also testified that Alec and Paul had a close relationship. Here's a video of the father and son at Alec's 61st birthday.
Happy birthday to you. All right. Happy Happy birthday to you.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you, baby.
As the Murdaugh trial continues, Law and Crime will keep you updated on all the newest developments. Reporting for Law and Crime Network, I'm Sierra.
Man. Poor family. Right? If- Oh my gosh. Oh, we did come across, we were talking about this last night. I want to hear what this is about here real quick. Netflix cracking down on the password
Looking
sharing.
at story number 5, sharing is caring. As long as it's not your Netflix account, the streaming giant just revealed its first in cracking down on password sharing. Kalina is here with the details. A lot of folks listening up.
I was going to say, this is like cheaters never prosper, and
Yeah.
Netflix
really taking a toll on a lot of people's lives right now. And they're finding out about this through the Netflix support page. The company plans to only allow users who live in the same household to use an account. So how does this whole thing work? How does the streaming service plan get to enforce this new rule where users will have to log in from a device from their home network every 31 days? If users keep trying to use Netflix outside of their home network past the deadline, their account will be blocked. And if you're traveling and away from your home for longer than a week, the platform is going to make you plug in a code to verify your device. Yeah, it's a lot of levels on this one.
I
Netflix
bet
is
you a
expected
lot of
to implement
people
these
are like,
changes and make users
later.
pay extra for shared accounts as soon as next month. So, Amy, you might want to check and see what you're doing.
And it's already $19.99 a month. I'm sorry. That shit. If you got stock in Netflix, sell that shit.
And see if anyone is using your stuff. I know I'm going to.
Wow.
Just in case.
Yes.
Sell it. Dump it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Cell phone activity the night of the murders. That's 27 minutes. Let me see what else we got here. Video plays key role. Let me check out. It's News Nation.
So major developments in
Man,
the case, including the fact that the judge.
There's so many other apps out there now. You know, before there was Netflix, YouTube, just a couple. Now they got a freaking app for everything.
Says he will allow prior bad acts on the part of Alec Murdaugh to be admitted in court. Brian Claypool, Dennis Franks, back with us this morning as we talk about this case and what we have learned. First of all, your reaction to the Snapchat video, some of the technical things that the defense and prosecution were trying to get at this point. Dennis, let me start with you.
As you suggested, they are trying, the defense is just trying to poke holes about any technicalities that were not covered. You know, why the state did not ask for the metadata and you know, things of that nature. But overall, the evidence itself, the fact that the voice was heard and two witnesses have said 100%, they're 100% sure that it's Alex is very strong evidence.
Let's play that for folks at home again, and then Brian, I'll get you to respond to it. Again, this is the video, Snapchat video from Paul Murdaugh's phone the night the prosecutors say you can hear Alec Murdaugh on the tape in the audio clip. Let's play that for folks.
Okay. Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. Bubba. Hey, Bubba. That's a guinea. This is a chicken. Come here, Bubba. Come here. Come here, Bubba. Catch. Quick.
You hear a voice that sounds like Alec Murdaugh say several times, "Come here, Bubba, come here, Bubba." We know moments later, within minutes, Paul and Maggie were both murdered that night on June 7th. I know we've got Brian standing by, Dennis as well. Dennis, investigatively, when you were trying to analyze this type of information, this audio clip, what is the technology available that they can decipher whether or not that is Alec's voice on that audio clip?
I think the technology is such that it provides the voices themselves, and it's not going to say that this is Alex, although they can use other recordings of his voice. And voice print or like fingerprints, they're unique to individuals. There are very few people who have, if any, that have the exact same voice pattern. So I think that this, as far as any forensic evidence in the future that they may present would be comparisons of audio that they do have.
Right, so the technology exists, and then you have just people relying on their own ears. What do you hear? It goes back to that same video. They did him wrong, I did him wrong. We all hear something a little bit different. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
I always appreciate their little warnings there. I mean, we kind of figured that already, Let's see. We'll have to get into that sometime. I wanted to save it, though. How long would it take us to get to Pluto? Very interesting question. Okay, Kib Kitty sent me this link earlier today. Thank you, Kib Kitty. This is JLR. We'll see what he's saying about Summer Wells. Claims Chris McDonough messed up Summer Wells investigation.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates where is missing 6-year-old Summer Wells. Summer Wells has been missing since June 15th, 2021. Where is she? She has a birthday coming up. She'll be 7. Rogersville, Tennessee, Hawkins County. Let's talk about Don Wells, Summer's father. Don Wells speaks again. This time he speaks on a YouTube channel called Prayer Garden. He shares a lot. But I want to play a clip. Something that he said. He's blaming Chris McDonough of the Interview Room for screwing up the Summer Wells investigation. Check it out.
I know Mary and Jeannie and some of the, his stepsisters was accusing Donald of SA, but it was like 50 years ago or something. And
actually, Prayer Garden's Chris McDonough actually correlated the whole thing, took the focus off of Summer and put it on himself, and collected all kinds of money and actually screwed up the entire investigation for Summer and screwed up the police investigation.
I agree with
you. Everything he could and tried to railroad me into prison. Actually had
I agree.
Thank you. And there was 2 written statements on me. Mary and Jeannie both signed statements on me, which were both complete false lies, which I was able to debunk very quickly with the police in Utah.
So he says a lot more things on that Prayer Garden channel. Go check it out. I play clips of Don Wells because Don Wells likes to blame
Where's
others.
the link for the
Seems
channel?
like he doesn't accept responsibility for his own actions. Him and
There's
Candace,
no link.
and they like to deflect and blame others. And as you heard, he's now blaming Chris McDonough only for Chris McDonough bringing to light what Don Wells was accused of in Utah with his stepsisters, right? We've been hearing what Don Wells was accused of in reference to his stepsisters out in Utah, enough where Don Wells said in that recording that he had to speak to the police about it. So it had to be something serious. What comes out of that remains to be seen. But Don Wells, wants to blame everyone else for Summer's disappearance except him and Candace. I am covering this case. No stone left unturned. Summer has a birthday coming up. She'll be 7. 7. Where's Summer Wells? If you have any credible information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, contact Tennessee Borough Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are Summer's Army. We are going to continue to put Summer.
Really? I never really watched that channel, SRB. What's Mrs. Dash? What is that? Assault alternative? Yeah, I would like to do a night on the case. I really don't know much about that. It's a seasoning. Spice it up, huh? Yeah, I was gonna go check it out. I didn't see a link though, so I don't know, Prayer Garden or something. Okay. This was kind of interesting. We did watch one of their videos. We watched a few days ago where it was a Ron Logan interview that just got released, and it was very interesting. And sodium replacement. Okay. So I'm going to check this one out. This one came across my my feed. And it talks about the Keegan Kline Richard Allen timeline. Now, I've always felt, since RA was arrested, I always felt that KK, TK, and RA were connected. All three of them. And all three of them, I always felt that KK was sitting at the gas station because he took TK to go meet RA. So I'm kind of interested to hear what they have to say on this one. Mrs. Dash, huh? Damn, that music is loud. Ooh.
So let's look at the timeline here. Someone put this together also on the Delphi murder subreddit, Disastrous Lie. Make of that what you will. List of known events / coincidences / developments that led to the arrest of Richard Allen. Sources, law enforcement, media sources, and murder sheets. Some people don't like them, but they had Carter on record thanking them after the press conference, which implies he knows the content they've put out and is okay with what they put out. If he wasn't, he wouldn't thank them. So summer 2021, ISP announces media blackout on Delphi. December 6, 2021, late night release from ISP asking for info on the Anthony Schatz social media account. December 7th, 2021, media reveals that the person behind Anthony Schatz is Keegan Kline. He is in jail for possession and distribution of CSAM plus child exploitation and child solicitation. On November 26, 2021, his house is raided by the police. December 9th, 2021, Barbara McDonald interviews Keegan Kline in jail and asks questions about the Delphi murders. March 14th, 2021, the Murder Sheet podcast releases a transcription of an ISP interview with Keegan Kline in August 2020 that touches on the Delphi murders. April 11th, 2022, ISP asks for info on the Anthony Schatz Yubo/Yellow account. April 30th, 2022, at CrimeCon, Kelsey German tells the newspaper law enforcement is telling the families the murders are social media related. Quote, in the beginning, I was super angry when they first released it, and law enforcement officially told us they think it's social media, and that's what they're looking at. I was so mad, I went to her grave and yelled at her. I screamed, end quote. May 14th, 2022, Murder Sheets release the Ron Logan search warrant. August 1st, 2022, Keegan Kline's trial continuance.
What the heck?
August 9th, 2022, Murder Sheet reveals ISP Superintendent Carter sees a 1-hour PowerPoint presentation on Kline and the involvement with Delphi.
What the hell?
August 18th, States asks to seal documents evidencing ISP taking custody of Keegan Kline.
What the heck?
They take him out of Miami County Jail to a secret location, the Grissom Air Base. We don't know what Kline tells or shows investigators. The next day, August 19th, ISP begins a 5-week-long search of Wabash River in Peru, Keegan Kline's hometown. August 23rd, 2022, Murder Sheet reveals that Kline searched the location of the Marathon gas station in Delphi February 13th, 2017. Law enforcement tells the Murder Sheet the release of this info would not hurt the investigation. September 19th, Doug Carter is flown to the Wabash search area. September 21st, the end of the Wabash River search. September 23rd, Keegan Klein starts telling people he told authorities that while someone else was committing the Delphi murders, he was waiting in a red Jeep. Murder Sheet is able to corroborate these claims through two different sources.
It's all Murder Sheet. Props.
September 28th, ISP confirms the Wabash River search is over. October 13th, a police search takes place at a home in Delphi. October 20th, Keegan Klein's pretrial hearing. The plan is to go ahead with a jury trial in January 2023. October 26th, Delphi resident Richard Allen is arrested in connection to the murders of Abby and Libby. November 8th, Keegan's trial continuance because parties are engaged in negotiations. Trial is moved to May 2023. And then also several charges are dropped against Keegan Klein coincidentally after this arrest of Richard Allen.
Yes, 5.
What does that mean?
5 of them.
Another interesting development here, IndyStar.com, judge recuses himself from case against Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen. November 3rd, 2022, John Tufts and Sarah Nelson, Indianapolis Star. A judge overseeing the case against murder suspect Richard Allen has recused himself hours after granting a motion to transfer Allen from a county jail to a state prison. Allen, 50, of Delphi has been charged with 2 counts of murder in the deaths of teens Liberty German and Abigail Williams, whose bodies were found February 14, 2017, after they were hiking the day before. Carroll County Circuit Court Judge Benjamin A. Diner signed a motion Thursday transferring Allen away from the small, close-knit Indiana town where the teens were found killed and over to the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections for safekeeping. Hours later, court records appeared showing Diner submitted an order of recusal to the Indiana Supreme Court requesting a special judge outside of Carroll County oversee the case. Trial court judges can recuse themselves from a case for a variety of reasons. Catherine Dolan, a spokesperson for the Indiana Supreme Court, said in a statement, "While the order is public record, a judge does not have to explain a reason for recusal. But in the motion to transfer Allen to a state prison for holding, Diner cited a bloodlust for information from the public in the case that's made officials feel unsafe and not protected. This finding is not predicated on any acts or alleged acts of the defendant, since arrest, rather a toxic and harmful insistence on public information about defendant and this case," Diner wrote. He noted that he's been made aware of YouTube videos containing photos of his family members. Wow, that's messed up. Indiana Supreme Court has appointed Allen County Judge Fran Gull as special judge in the case, according to Dolan. Yeah, I mean, that's really crazy. Some people, of course, allege that there's something going on behind the scenes with local law enforcement and court officials. But back to Klein's dismissal of charges, WRTV.com, judge dismisses 5 charges against Keegan Klein.
It is entertaining.
Posted November 7th, 2022.
While we're learning about the timeline.
A Miami County judge has officially dismissed 5 charges against Keegan Klein, a man supposedly linked to social media profiles connected to the investigation of the murders of Abby Williams and Liberty German in Delphi. Prosecutors filed a motion on Wednesday asking that 5 counts of child pornography possession against Klein be dismissed on the basis that, quote, "there is insufficient evidence to prove said counts beyond a reasonable doubt at trial," end quote. Last week, Indiana police named 50-year-old Richard Allen as the primary suspect in the girls' murders. His arrest came more than 5 years after the investigation began. So that's kind of weird. Is it all coincidental that this guy's arrested and all of a sudden charges are dropped against Klein? Now, maybe they would have been dropped anyway if they couldn't prove it, whatever, but it's awfully convenient. The coincidence stack regarding Klein being taken out of custody, facilitating the river search, and then mere weeks later, there's the house search and the arrest of Allen, and then all of a sudden 5 charges dropped against Klein. What does everybody make of this? Is this all just mere coincidence in this case? Now, supposedly, some people are stating I think this was from the Murder Sheet podcast also, that law enforcement was simply looking through old evidence relating to people that spoke to Alan.
We love the Murder Sheet podcast.
And that simply going through old files is what facilitated the movement on Alan, and not anything to do with Keegan Kline or the river search. I mean, just the timing is weird, though. The timing's definitely weird. A post by Lord of With.
And I think Justice Served Daily went over all
Withy
this
Woods.
as well.
I think they found a device in the river that connected Richard Allen and Keegan Kline. By the time you presented, it was only a couple of weeks or so after the river search wrapped
love
up that
that.
Richard Allen was arrested. A reasonable amount of time for data forensic experts to process the evidence found in the river, which subsequently created a foundation for the warrant executed at Allen's residence. I also noticed that the area they seemed to be searching was very near a bridge. This leads me to think that the device was thrown into the river while driving over the bridge. A quick, easy, relatively safe way to get rid of incriminating evidence. And then, of course, all of a sudden, charges being dropped against Kline. A certain amount of charges being dropped. Now, what if there's another wrinkle here, though? What if somehow they could prove that certain counts, it wasn't Keegan Kline accessing the devices, and it was either Allen or someone else, if we're going to go with the coincidence on the timeline. And that's why they dropped them, not just generally saying, oh, we couldn't prove those anyway, so we're going to drop those charges. If they found specific evidence showing that, or at least reasonable evidence showing that Kline might not have been the one who accessed whatever those 5 counts detail on some of the devices, if they have another party involved, and that other party just so happens to be Allen or someone connected to Allen, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of weird. So apparently there's 30 charges on Kline. They only dropped 5 charges or so. So is that definitive either way? I mean, I don't know. It's just the timeline is kind of weird. Also, Keegan Kline's attorney filed a motion to continue his trial and stated that they are in negotiations with the state. So even though only 5 charges are currently dropped, was that done as some kind of notion of goodwill because they're currently in negotiations? So what will the result of those negotiations be? And are those negotiations somehow involving Richard Allen and this recent arrest, or information Kline provided that led to it, if indeed that is what led to them doing so? An interesting post here last week by Usual Requirement. The sealed charging document will shock everyone. People are offering up some really complicated theories about Richard Allen and the charging document. I disagree with these theories. I think what's really going on is far simpler. First, Richard Allen was identified and arrested because of sheer coincidence. His apprehension occurred independently of the criminal investigation that's been going on for the past 5 years. This is highly embarrassing to the police. Second, Richard Allen acted alone, but he may be connected to or have knowledge of a child pedo.
I know, Josie. We went over that a little bit ago. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Yeah, we went over that a little bit ago. I'm going to be going back into Murdaugh here in a few. Yeah, that was crazy. Oh my gosh.
Or pornography ring. Third, investigators are making a mistake by keeping the charging document sealed. Right now, they are intensively wrapped up in the pedo case they're building. They want to be left alone for the time being, but that conflicts with the First Amendment, which will be the argument made by the media's attorneys as the upcoming hearing to unseal. Fourth, this frequently happens with the police. They fail to take into account that making records public will help, not hinder, the investigation. Facts will be put out, enabling the general public to participate in and hopefully catch some bad guys. Summing up, Richard Allen's coincidental arrest makes police officers look terrible. To mitigate their damaged reputation, they need to be able to say, so what if our long drawn-out investigation into the killer failed?
Oh, no, you
Here's
weren't
a pedo ring we're in the process of busting open.
I use those times. Seriously, it helps because I pause it just to respect the creator. And instead of me just pausing it to, I don't mind pausing it to respond to stuff. It's no thing. I actually appreciate it. So you're not interrupted.
A retired professional who worked around police and criminal courts for 20 plus years. So that's the take of this supposed professional who worked in criminal courts for over 20 years. Post here by Himbo Kakarot. Rumor is he was investigated because he broke into a neighbor's shed to steal a tool. When they checked into it, they either found evidence from the crime scene or they found fingerprints or DNA that matched the crime scene.
Right.
Richard Allen didn't have a criminal record, so fingerprints and DNA would not have been on file. I mean, would they really search the house for 12 hours over some random... Unless that was a separate incident with the shed, and then they suspected that
it's just weird.
He might have had something to do with Delphi. Other people, of course, speculate that there was an animal hair and it was from one of Richard Allen's pets, and then they matched it or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
That he buried something he stole from a neighbor. I don't know. The whole story is just really weird.
This is quite unusual. I mean, that's all that can be said there.
That's true. That's all that could be said. All right, we're gonna switch to a little bit of Idaho 4. This is Truth and Transparency. I don't know what this White Avenue. I don't even know what this is about, but I did want to check it out. Yeah, don't worry about it, Josie. There's no worries, seriously. I use those for opportunities to chat with you guys and respect the creator at the same time. Yeah.
Moscow, Idaho.
I was gonna
the
say
Moose Lodge.
I was gonna say there for a minute before today is it was kind of like but now it's like oh shit. It's oh shit. Yeah. And it was good. It was awesome too when we went over it. We had Scott Reich talking about it with us. It was great. It was great.
November 12th, 2022. This is just after 8 p.m. The Moose Lodge featured a dart tournament for Veterans Day weekend, but it also featured an MPD call for a quote-unquote a rowdy customer.
Yep.
Who was at the Moose Lodge causing problems? Let's find out. Again, this was November 12th, 2020.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me when we had Valerie on in like the first month of me doing my show, and we were talking about the Idaho 4 stuff, and she called the frickin' Moose Lodge. Remember, she said there was some kind of connection with the Moose Lodge and a call to LE, but then the person wasn't there when LE showed up. Oh my gosh. And it's like February now. Holy shit, this is like November when Valerie was on panel. We were talking about it. She was telling me all the information she had, and she even called the freaking Moose Lodge while we were live. It was crazy.
Around
Holy
8
crap.
PM.
Wow. Wow.
So here's the thing though, and being that you guys are
Wow, Valerie.
failed you in at the moment, we have to handle it at the lodge level first before we involve them, because then it kind of causes a bunch of other issues for us. So
Having said that,
the only downside was she wasn't actually there, it was over the phone, and that's where
I understand that. If people who feel uncomfortable and don't feel comfortable approaching the bar, it's not just limited to the Moose Lodge. But if a member feels unsafe, they're always welcome to call us, and we can resolve this later amongst the lodge, amongst your members, obviously.
Yes.
Okay? But if somebody feels unsafe, you should never discourage them from contacting us. Okay. Never discourage them from contacting us.
Oh no, I totally understand
That's
that.
what you just did, though. You said they handle it amongst the lodge first. That's what I heard. Did I mishear that? Did I mishear that? Did I mishear that?
Sir, give me one moment, please.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still 6 weeks postpartum, so I've had a very stressful day that I don't want to.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was like, I'm not an excuse. I just don't want to accidentally get aggressive with you in an unfair
Have you
manner.
dealt with the Moscow Police Department before?
Yes, sir.
Did we ever get overbearing or over involved?
No,
Okay.
and that's
Based on that experience, please get us involved with the inception of these things because we want to make sure people stay safe.
okay.
And there's nothing that says this member, whoever he is, and I'm not asking who it is, couldn't go out and cause a different problem in a different bar. I would like to know that he was ejected from the Moose Lodge.
Okay.
So that if I deal with him later at Mingles or at John's Alley, I have a pattern of behavior. I can make more quick decisions on what I'm going to do with that person. You understand that?
Yes, I completely do. I will apologize because I don't want them to be discouraged either. I do know that part of our laws, especially because it was more of an act of decorum with our lodge,
Totally
is
get
that
it.
That's where I do, and so I will
Totally get
apologize
that.
to you
Okay.
because that is not my
'Cause
intent.
That comes off as like you guys don't want to have problems come outside the lodge and make the lodge look bad.
Oh, no.
I get that.
Oh, yeah, no, that
I've been
is
a
not
former
it.
Moose patron myself. I know how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate that, and I apologize for how I misspoke.
Okay. Awesome. Now, keeping all this in mind, do we want to know who this is in case he is causing you a problem later downtown tonight?
Possibly. The only downside is I don't know which name because he goes by one name here, but debit card goes by another, so I don't know.
It'd probably be his legal name is probably what's on his debit card, I would assume.
I just also know that he likes to play games, and that's where it's a.
I get that. I don't play games though.
Okay.
I go by legal names.
So his legal name is Justin Olson.
Okay.
He does go by Heath in the off chance that he starts paying.
It's interesting you say that because remember that caller Kim? She was saying when you said that it brought me back to that caller Kim because she said a few times or a couple that there was a lot of student deaths just within the last not even a year. Or she said there was like 10 or something. Is it drug related, Josie? Nobody was a disruption, Kim Kitty. Was it drug related? Like what happened? Sent the link on Discord? Oh, I don't have my Discord open. Shit, my bad. I just started using it, so I gotta get into the habit of opening it up every time I start my show here. All right, let me finish this video here, and then we will switch to that. Thank you for that.
Cash at other bars.
Awesome.
That's where I
I'm loving this
No worries,
Discord.
no worries.
I just want to say I'm loving this Discord so far because I can actually use it like text messages. It's really sweet. Like I don't get notifications for a lot of my apps, whether it's Facebook or Gmail or any of that shit. I don't know. My phone's weird. It's because of the machine at work. It like fucks with your phone because it has RF frequency or radio waves or whatever. But so like it makes my phone do weird shit. But with the Discord, it's nice because it pops up like a actual message. I even hear the beep coming through while we're doing it. I heard the beep. I kept hearing this beep. I'm like, what the hell is that? So it was actually, yeah. If you guys have a Discord here, let me put my I'm gonna play this video. Sorry, but I'm gonna put my Discord in the chat. If you're on Discord and you want to add me, shoot me a request. Great way. Great way to send links.
I just want to make sure that they feel and see it. We're here to help. That's our main goal, obviously. Okay. What's the event?
We actually were having a veteran benefit.
Thanks for doing that.
Of
That's
course,
awesome.
it was a
Cool.
dart. It was a dart tournament that started at 10 a.m. and we're still finishing a second one.
Second. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah,
It was a big event.
looks like it. Yeah. That's
I've been
cool.
here since like 6:45, so
It's been a long day. Okay. Well, we're here to help. If it comes back we're happy to help in whatever
course.
shape, manner we can.
Of
I'm
course.
glad no one's hurt. We don't need people getting aggressive or coming behind the bar. That's kind of ridiculous.
Well, and the problem was I don't think he meant it like in the aggressive form, but when I caught him, I was like, I can't have you behind the bar tonight. And he's like, well, I bartended for it. Like, that's great, but give the
So that's what it
I
was.
totally understand, and I appreciate you enforcing those rules on you. That's awesome. That's good. That's good news. Okay, well then we'll head out.
Thank you.
Enjoy the dart tournament.
Thank
Have a great
you.
night.
Thank you,
guys. Well, that's
Sure.
Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Good luck, guys.
I asked myself who the mystery man at the Moose was because he enjoys playing games with other people. Goes by 2 names. What's up with all this? It sounds like you're using cash and your name is this, but then when you use your debit card, your name is this. What's up? Again, I really didn't think it was important until I thought about this guy that goes by the name of Justin or Heath, possibly going to the corner club that night, the same place that Maddie and Kaylee were headed to that night. After the search, I figured out that Justin's middle name is Heath, so his name's Justin Heath. And according to his Facebook page, he accepted a new job at WSU in 2020, and he mentioned in a public post that he had served time in Idaho prison. But the most interesting post by this Justin Heath dude was a post that differed from all the other posts, which was on December 1st of 2022. Justin Heath moved around a lot. A lot. As I read stuff about him, something immediately caught my attention, and that was his connection and association to White Avenue, specifically the 2300 block of White Avenue. And don't worry, I'll get back and show you guys that post on December 1st. The 2300 block of White Ave is home to Clearwater Apartment Complex. It's a new apartment complex built in 2018, which is one of the apartment complexes that the Slane students would visit and take pictures at and post on social media.
I love this music.
As I continued to dig and sort out information, I remembered that White Ave was also notorious for always popping up on the MPD call logs. So I went and I pulled out my printed call logs, and there it was, the 2300 block White Ave on 11/13/2022, the same day of the 911 call.
What?
And there it was, 11/13 at 5:01 p.m. The wellness check that was called into Moscow Police Department for a female that the reporting party hadn't heard from in 2 days. And they gave the location as the 2300 block of White Ave to put that wellness check in. That wouldn't be all for the 11/13/2022 call logs.
What?
That featured White Ave. 29 minutes after the wellness check, 5:29 p.m., 11/13/2022, Moscow Police Department gets a phone call from the 2000 block of White Ave with the reporting party asking for assistance locating dog that was dropped off at shelter.
What?
Who made that call at 5:30 p.m. into the MPD from the 2000 block of White Ave just minutes after a wellness check was performed? Who knew that Murphy was taken to a shelter?
What?
First calling to find out about the dog's whereabouts. Who would seriously know those details to call the police and ask that specific of a question? Individually, the calls into the MPD don't mean anything, but you put them on a timeline with what happened that day, and it is very telling. So much so that I wanted to know everything about the residents on White Ave.
Whoa.
Specifically the 2000 to 2400 block. Let me ask you something. If you were a friend or relative of someone that you couldn't get a hold of after hearing a crazy story about them being shot and dead, wouldn't you be calling around to everyone you knew, or wherever you thought this person would be, and asking the police to perform wellness checks to see if that person could possibly be places that you knew of them to be hanging out at?
Whoa.
Because you couldn't get the answers that you wanted? I know I would. Oh, and P.S. The 2300 block of White Ave features not only Justin Heath, but also one of the 3 first responding officers at 1122 King Road on 11/13/2022. Do I have your attention now?
These are always great videos.
This is Truth and Transparency, Home Team Productions. Thank you, subs, members, and moderators. This video is dedicated to Kaylee's family's Facebook page. They're asking for help. Maybe this will help. Please share this video to see to it that all 4 University of Idaho victims get true justice by holding everyone involved accountable.
Wow. Valerie, what the hell? Oh my gosh. This is a link from Josie. Thank you for that. What a video. Whoa. Oh my gosh. I love that music too. It sucks you right in. Sorry, let me get back. I don't know how to make a Discord chat. I'm brand new to that shit. So I don't know. I might have even messed up my settings or something. There was no reports. That's crazy. Yeah, you know what? Here, let me put the link. I'll put the link to that video in chat here so you guys can watch it. Wait, that ain't it. Okay, here it is. Yeah, there you go. There's the link to that video that we just watched from Truth and Transparency. Holy crap. I don't trust her. I mean, other streamers have no contact. What? What? What the hell is that? I know what? Oh, no shit. Jeez. What? Holy shit. All right, which link is this? Here it is. Ooh, those are pretty neat shirts. WSU frat boy 19 is found dead in his dorm just 10 miles from scene of Idaho quadruple murders as online petition claims he died after extreme hazing. A Washington State University freshman was found dead in his dorm room about 10 miles away from the crime scene of the Idaho quadruple murders. Luke Morgan Tyler's body was discovered at the Perman Hall dorm on January 22nd around 1:30 p.m. when police received a call from an unidentified person. A petition has been launched seeking an investigation into the Theta Chi frat house over claims Tyler suffered an inhumane and cruel hazing there just before his death. No cause of death has been released, and despite the petition, cops say they don't suspect foul play. The location sits 10 miles. There's no suggestion the murders are connected to Tyler's death, the Idaho 4 murders, but the dorm tragedy further spooked locals badly traumatized by last year's crime. And then the petition reads, their inhumane and cruel hazing forced Luke and many others to do things nobody should ever be forced to do. Tyler, 19, went to school on the Pullman campus where suspected Idaho killer Brian Kohberger attended as PhD criminology student. $9,000 signatures were garnered as of Sunday night. Just cautioning the public about speculation. Okay, and then that goes into the Idaho 4 crime. Huh. Wonder, like, it makes you wonder, you know, if what she was saying, like, is there really that many deaths going on there? Let me see, I get back to chat here while I let StreamYard load. And it is crazy that they're reaching out to try and get tips and stuff with the Facebook. Like, Josie, I'm telling you, I'm only like, what? I think I just got 3 months. Yeah, actually, I think it is 3 months today, exactly. What? It was a Thursday night, the first Thursday of November. So whatever the first Thursday of November was. Wait. Was it the first Thursday? It was a Thursday. Yeah, it was the first Thursday of November. So whatever that date was, that's my 3-month date. Hey Allison, how you doing tonight? Yeah, that's my 3-month, whatever that date is. So no, I need y'all to catch me up on that shit. Interesting. Oh, up to 12,000 now. Good night, Kib Kitty. Thank you. Yeah, let us know how it goes tomorrow, Kib Kitty. $11-10-21. That's the first Thursday? That can't be. It'd have to be. It was right after Halloween. Halloween was like a Monday, right? Or a Tuesday? Something like that. All right. Let me get back to the bids. That was pretty crazy. Okay. Let's see here. I got maybe 20 more minutes for the show here. Let me see. Now, I don't know. Does anybody know about this case? I do watch Michelle After Dark. We do watch her on this channel. I've never heard of this name. Okay, 11/3. So tomorrow will be 3 months. So there was a baby born today, and then it's 3 months tomorrow for the show. Did everybody get to see the baby pictures? Liberty Rose. Liberty Rose. Ain't that a cool birthday too? 2, 2, 2, 3. That's a cool birthday too. Oh. Aw. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I never heard of this. It's a 13-minute video. I don't know if we'll see. Let me go through this other cell phone activity. That's a long video. I'm definitely gonna have like a 5-hour Alec Murdaugh stream with all of this stuff that I got. I got so much stuff from after that was left over from part 1, and all of this other stuff. All right. Let's see here. New evidence. Oh, shoot. Filmed by his son. We already watched that. We already saw that he was messing with a tree or something. You know, I do want to go over this. I don't know what this is about. They said it was targeted. I do want to check this out before we hop off this evening. And I think I'm going to try. I think I have an idea for my coffee.
A local
What's
lawmaker
up,
in
Grizz?
New Jersey is dead, and her killer is still on the run. The 30-year-old councilwoman was shot and killed while sitting in her car yesterday, and it happened right in front of her home. Officials are saying she was targeted, but will not specify if the attack was politically motivated. James Ford from our New York City affiliate has the latest on this active investigation.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Police searched through a dumpster looking for a weapon and other evidence Thursday afternoon, half a day after this scene recorded on cell phone video went.
Yeah, Allison, we went over that in the very beginning after we saw Liberty Rose's picture. And oh my gosh, yeah, we definitely checked out. We went back to it too. We did another checkout of another case, and then we went back to it in something else. And man, crazy. Yes, me too. I know. I guess Candace there's a video about her being in the hospital or something, but I wanted to make sure I got to that other one because just very interesting.
Wednesday evening. And smart.
I'd definitely like to do a show on her one night because and chill back and just have my questions. Let me ask you questions, you know?
Show where bullet casings landed following a shooting Wednesday.
That's not fireworks. That's a gunshot. Just loud.
A resident describes what happened to her neighbor and friend, Eunice Dwumfor. Dwumfor was in her SUV outside of her third-story apartment when she was shot multiple times, and her SUV rolled down her street, crashing into other vehicles. Dwumfor, who was 30 years old, was a first-term member of the borough council in this town of 45,000
targeted
people.
attack.
Sweet, kind-hearted neighbor. We can't even believe that can happen to her.
Next-door neighbor Cheyenne Brown is as baffled as anyone that this could happen to the Republican council member who's well-known and well-liked in her district and in her church about 25 miles away in Newark. Another reason for the surprise?
Stuff like this doesn't happen over here at all, ever. So that was like, I was scared.
But it was not quiet on Wednesday around 7:20 p.m. when this happened, say witnesses, including a neighbor who didn't want his face shown. He said he heard a few gunshots, then a pause for a second.
And then we heard multiple shots after that. Then all we saw was somebody running from the window.
He says a man ran to and over this white fence. Just past the fence is the Garden State Parkway.
I'm not sure. I didn't get to check it out, Dre. I just saw that there was a video. I was going to get to it if I had time, but I have some other videos. I'll get to it maybe if I have some time. I'm not really sure. It just said that she needed surgery or something. That Jonathan Lee Riches has a video on it, I think, if you wanted to check that out. Oh, I bet SRB. Ah. My cousin. Oh my gosh, that fucking movie. Oh my gosh. Yeah, targeted attack. The hell? Yeah, he has a video on it. Heart issues, I guess, is what it says. Okay, we already got into that. I did want to watch this, but there's just not enough time tonight. We'll have to do it tomorrow night. I did want to, you know what? I do want to hear, because I love bed crime stories. I want to see this, how they lost him. I want to see how they lost him. And I love her videos. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Welcome to Bed Crime Stories.
Smash that like button.
I'm your host, T. To my bed crimers, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you for checking out the channel. Let me just ask that after listening to or watching this video, if you find you enjoyed it or learned something new, do me a favor, smash that like button and consider subscribing. Now, let's get started. On December 13th of 2022, defendant Brian Kohberger, in the case of the 4 slain University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle, left with his father Michael in tow for a cross-country road trip back home to Pennsylvania. Unbeknownst to either Brian or Michael, law enforcement, knowing that his cell phone placed him in the King Road neighborhood where the crime occurred at least a dozen times over the past few months, wanted to keep a watch on Brian. Unfortunately, thanks to part 2 of Airmail magazine's article about the case, we now know that the FBI lost track of Kohberger and his 2015 white Elantra right at the start of the long trip. Basically, as soon as he and his father Michael pulled away from Brian's parking space at Washington State University in Pullman, it was at that point that Brian took a strange turn and headed south toward Loma, Colorado, where he told his father he would pick up the I-70. Michael Kohberger had already Googled the directions from Pullman to Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. He knew that the most logical and direct route was basically a straight line across the country on I-90. So he was surprised by his son's insistence on that southern route, which added many extra hours and possibly even an extra day to the already incredibly long 2,500-mile journey back home. In fact, to drive the 902 miles from Pullman, Washington to Loma, Colorado takes on average 14 hours and 53 minutes, nearly 15 hours. And it really wouldn't get the father and son all that much closer to Pennsylvania. Take a look at the map. Brian told his father that he wanted to take I-70 home because he wanted to avoid the more northern route on I-90, which likely guaranteed poor winter driving conditions. But Colorado is celebrated for its ample snowfall, especially in the month of December. Vail, Aspen, Breckenridge, Steamboat Springs, and more are all meccas for skiers. I looked at the average snowfall in the closest big city to Loma that I could find on the map. I chose Glenwood Springs. Glenwood Springs gets on average 10.8 inches of snow in December. Note that Vail gets 28 inches on average, and Steamboat Springs gets a whopping 35.8 inches of snow in December. Colorado is a very snowy state in December. For the Koberger's entire 15-hour car ride from Pullman to Loma, Colorado, the FBI had no clue where they were and was unable to keep an eye on the white Elantra. It was only when Koberger went through the one traffic light in Loma that a license plate reader read his new Washington plates, and voila, the FBI was back in business. Now, from what we currently know, Brian Koberger was at this point unaware that law enforcement even knew about him and his 2015 white Elantra. Remember, the Moscow police had publicly announced they were looking for a 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra. It's possible, and maybe even likely, that Koberger had no clue the police were onto him at this point. So why did Brian Koberger really drive south to Loma to reach the I-70 when that 15-hour trip of 902 miles did not propel him or his father much closer to home? Was it really because of the weather? We know Colorado likely would have made for snowy driving conditions. Or did Brian have other ideas in mind? Despite him maybe not being aware that law enforcement were onto him, did he still prefer to take an unexpected route home just in case the cops were on his trail? Maybe. That seems like something a student of criminology might do if he committed a crime like the one in Moscow, Idaho. Did Brian Koberger have other plans for that jaunt? Those 15 hours are not just several hours. That's a very long time. And it would have taken the Kobergers past mountains and also right past Utah's Great Salt Lake. Could Brian have selected that route, A, to throw any possible eyes of law enforcement off his trail, and B, to throw away evidence of the crime? Perhaps the clothing and footwear worn during the commission of that crime, and maybe even the weapon used. I think those are distinct possibilities. I could see Brian having a bag of clothing tucked away in the trunk, maybe disguised as garbage or something for goodwill, and finding a way to discard it along the route, either when his dad wasn't watching or when his dad was perhaps at a rest stop along the way. Maybe his dad went into a restroom for a bathroom break. I think Brian could easily have tossed evidence along that route without his father seeing. Remember, Michael Koberger likely had no clue his son might be responsible for the horrific crime in Moscow. Most parents are not going to jump to that horrible conclusion right from the jump, unless their child has already done something like that before and they were aware of it and of their child's very dark, very violent thought. I will submit to you that losing track of Brian Koberger for 15 hours is more than just an embarrassment for the FBI. It may mean that any clothes worn during the crime and the weapon used may never be found. How will they ever search that entire journey? Every mountain pass, every rest stop, every inch of the Great Salt Lake. There's no way that they can. I'm actually thinking that Brian Koberger perhaps had this little trip down to Loma to catch the I-70 in his plan all along. Maybe it was a backup plan. Maybe he thought, if law enforcement does find me somehow, let's say I make a mistake and maybe leave a leather sheath behind at the crime scene, or perhaps they trace the white Elantra to my 2015 white Elantra, maybe it would be better if I drive home on I-70, because they'll never think that I would go that route. The most direct, most logical route home would be I-90. So that would be where they would go to look to see if I dropped anything along
A very
the
good
way.
point, Josie.
I don't know. I'm just thinking. What do you guys think?
They did lose him.
Let me know in the comments. Until the next time on Bed Crime Story.
Yeah, they did lose him, didn't they? They had no idea where he was at. They didn't even know until the water receded. They didn't even know. Now, I have a question, Josie. Was that energy drink, that Monster can, that they found around that location? Was that part? Do you know? Did that get linked? Okay, let me see here. We'll get into that maybe tomorrow night, because I do want to get into Summer Wells again. I would love to have a Summer Wells night. That's for sure. I'd love to have a Delphi night. I'd love to have a Summer Wells night. If anybody's uber knowledgeable in the case and you'd love to get on open panel, I'd love to hear about it. We could look stuff up. You could tell me about it. I'm sure I would have questions. I think it'd be a really cool show. And I'd definitely love to have some Justice Squad with some Delphi. And I have another question for anybody that might know. Do you know where I can get like sound clips that are like, I don't know, a minute or 2 minutes long, 30 megabytes or less, that are no copyright? If anybody watching or is on replay and has any idea how I can acquire those, if you can email me or shoot me a Discord or hit me up on Twitter or just leave a comment in the chat. I would love to be able to kind of mess around with different themes and stuff. I'm actually, I got a couple soundboard links from Mama Bear, I think, sent me a couple soundboards. Right now I'm trying to narrow down a mic arm so that way I can get rid of this microphone out of the camera and it'll be off to the other side. So my mic will be on my left side whenever I get a mic arm. I'm just trying to narrow it down. I think I have the one. I just want to make sure that it'll work good with the microphone. So I'm going to go over it tonight and a little bit tomorrow, and tomorrow afternoon I should have it narrowed down to the mic arm. The painting stand will be coming in the mail, I think tomorrow. That'll be coming. So then the painting streams will start up soon. And Yeah, I don't know. The soundboards are probably crazy expensive, though, aren't they? I would love to have a soundboard like a fake studio audience that oohs and ahs and claps and giggles and all sorts of stuff. I think it'd be really cool to have like we have an audience watching. Good night, SRB. Thank you so much for the baby pictures. It was so cool. Most people considering your different types of channels. I definitely, yeah. 100 or so for a cheap one. Hell, if you have any good links to send me, Josie, send me some links, because I'd definitely love to have a soundboard on here. I think that'd really add to the show. Just like, because it's more of a talk show. And that's why I would have updated. This is gonna be my new channel name. Because after some time, I'm like, this is more like a show. And it's something that when I first created the channel, I was either gonna call it this or I was gonna call it the concept. And I'm like, the concept I like, but I was talking to a few people over the last couple weeks, and I was like, I'm really thinking about just being the Evil CJ show. Something simple, short, sweet. So I went ahead and did this. I changed a lot of stuff. I haven't changed over everything because YouTube's not allowing me to change my name until Sunday. So Sunday will be the day that it will go from the Evil CJ Concept Podcast. Sunday, it will be the Evil CJ Show. I want to thank Cherry for the help on the logos again. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a late show because, those Fridays, we always go a little extended version. You know what, Dre? That's interesting that you said that because yesterday I was talking to somebody and I was like, man, or maybe it was the day before, I brought it up and I was like, remember when I started streaming on Twitch and I was like, I had this thing. I don't remember what it was. I'd have to look it up. I think it was Stream Elements or something, but I could upload logos where I could make t-shirts, stickers, mouse pads, and coffee mugs. So I could have different pictures on there and stuff. And I can imagine all the different t-shirts I could think of. Get my face on there. Get one with the Evil CJ logo on it. Have my own little coffee t-shirt. A coffee mug. Coffee with CJ. Yeah. I need to write that down because I got Saturday off. So I'm going to be doing a lot of channel stuff on Saturday. Making sure I got all my updates changed over. So on Sunday, I can update the name and that's all that'll take. I do plan on maybe making some different backgrounds. I really, really, really would like, if anybody knows how I can find like minute or two clips that I can loop through the show. Something like this. So if anybody is still watching on replay or live that might know about it, let me play this because I want to give you an idea of what I'm looking for here. And then I'm going to end up ending the show here. 1 second. I'd do a stream deck, sent you a few links, but you can switch between topics. Yeah. I've never even messed with one, so that'll be cool. All right. So let me pause the music. Is it playing? Oh, it's not. Here we go. So this is like what I'm looking for here. Something like this. Something like this. I even thought about, I don't know, I just think this would sound cool, you know, at a different level, like quieter. But I think something like this playing, you know, like maybe like this or a little bit lower. Just something like this playing like that, you know, maybe getting some deep bass in there and stuff. Yeah, just background music that I can just loop different types of background music. Because, I mean, I love StreamYard. I love StreamYard music, but, I mean, come on. So, yeah, I'd definitely love to switch it up. So if anybody knows anything like that, please, just creepy shit. Or, whoa, you know? Or even, I don't know, just like jock jams. You remember jock jams? Stuff like that, you know? I know. I love this. I love the space age funk beat. I do. I do. It is soothing, you know? But sometimes I need some creepy shit, because if the other night when Justice was on, she was telling her scary story. That music was fucking playing. She's like, oh shit. It was great. It just added to it. It was so cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow night. We'll have an extended show, as we always do on Fridays. Thank you so much. Hope you have a peaceful and positive evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.